We're drowning in online courses, YouTube tutorials, and digital books. It feels like we should be masters of everything by now, right? But, or not. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise and get to the real, science-backed blueprint for how we actually learn best. Okay, so to understand the new way of learning, we first have to talk about why the old way is, well, kind of broken. Turns out there's this fundamental mistake that a lot of textbooks and courses have been making for a long, long time. And this critique, believe it or not, comes from the introduction to a C++ programming wiki book. Yeah, the authors were so fed up with the old way of teaching that they called it out on page 1, pointing to this huge flaw in how we teach tricky subjects. And here it is. This is their big point. Most courses, they just dump the what on you. All the vocabulary, the syntax, the formulas. They give you all the puzzle pieces, but they completely forget to teach you the how to actually put those pieces together to solve a real problem. And this is the part that applies to everything. It doesn't matter if it's coding, statistics, or even learning to cook. Just memorizing the rules isn't the real goal, right? The goal is to learn how to think, how to use those rules to tackle something new. That's the skill that really, truly matters. So let's jump from that world of old school textbooks into our world, the digital age. The way we get information has totally changed, but the real challenges of learning, they might not have changed as much as you think. I mean, let's be real. From those massive online university courses to a quick 5-minute tutorial on YouTube, video is the new default. It's how we learn stuff now. It's easy, it's right there, and it is absolutely everywhere. And that leads us to the billion-dollar question, doesn't it? With all these videos out there, how in the world do you know what's good? What's the difference between a video that just shows you something and one that actually helps you learn it? Well, the good news is we don't have to guess. Researchers at Georgia Tech have dug into this, and they've actually come up with a blueprint, a set of principles, all backed by data for creating lessons that actually stick in your brain. Okay, check this out. This is the model they came up with. It breaks down effective learning into these 3 overlapping circles: the methods you use, the sequence you teach in, and the presentation of the material. There are 7 principles in total, and while we don't have time for all of them, we're going to zero in on 3 of the most powerful ones. First up, and this one is a biggie, learning by doing. The science on this is just crystal clear. Passively watching somebody else do something is fine, but it's way, way less effective than actually trying it yourself. You have to get your hands dirty. And this is exactly what learning by doing looks like in practice. See? Instead of just watching the instructor do it, the student has to figure it out for themselves right there in the lesson. You're not just watching the movie, you're in the driver's seat. But just doing it isn't quite enough. The other crucial piece of the puzzle is getting what's called adaptive feedback. And no, we're not talking about a little red X that says incorrect. We're talking about smart feedback. That's like having a personal tutor who explains why you made a mistake. And wow, this slide just shows the difference perfectly. The generic correct message on the bottom, it doesn't really teach you anything. But look at that adaptive feedback up top. It's a game changer. It doesn't just say you're wrong, it shows you exactly where your logic went off track. That's how you really build understanding. And finally, in that presentation circle, we have the multimedia principle. This is a super important idea from cognitive science. It basically says our brains are wired to learn better when our eyes and our ears are working together on the same problem. It's why a voice talking over a helpful graphic is so much more powerful than just a wall of text. Okay, so if words and pictures work so well together, that opens up a huge debate for online learning. What's actually better, watching a video, reading some text, or is there a third option? Let's see what the data says. So, this 5-year study on learning math decided to find out. The researchers gave students really high-quality videos and really high-quality texts on the same topics, and they basically asked them, hey, what worked best for you? And the results? Well, you can see them right here. They are just so clear. Text alone was okay. Video by itself was a lot better. But look at that bar on the right. Nothing even came close to using video and text together. The combo was the undisputed champion. So the huge insight here is that it's not a competition. It's not video versus text. The best way to learn is with video and text. They're a perfect team. Video is great for explaining and showing, and text is great for reinforcing and for quick reviews. Now, if you're still not convinced just how critical the video part is, I've got one more number for you from that Georgia Tech study, and this one's a jaw dropper. 40%. Just let that sink in for a second. The quality of the video lessons, just the videos, accounted for nearly half of how students felt about the entire course. That's more than the homework, the community, everything. The videos have this massive, outsized impact. So the takeaway is pretty profound, isn't it? Making great videos for an online course isn't just a nice little detail. In a lot of ways, the videos are the course. They are the absolute foundation everything else is built on. Okay, so what does this all mean for you? Let's pull it all together into a simple, practical playbook you can use, whether you're trying to learn something new or maybe even trying to teach it. Here it is, your new playbook. Look for courses that mix video with text. Prioritize courses that make you learn by doing with lots of interactive practice. And hunt for that smart, adaptive feedback that actually explains your mistakes. And maybe the biggest lesson of all, remember that how you learn is every bit as important as what you learn. So we have a really solid research-backed blueprint for what works right now. But you gotta wonder, with things like AI tutors and virtual reality classrooms right around the corner, what's this blueprint for better learning gonna look like in the future?